Hi, this is a quick video screen um, recording and description of how to use math paper from Panther apps. So you can see this is the basic start page and layout of the app itself. It's in a grid structure, which is actually really useful, but you just move around the grid by tapping on the different um, cells in the grid, and you can move by just sort of dragging and scrolling up and down, left and right, or by tapping this icon in the bottom right hand corner to get some directional arrows. So you'll see as we start to do some problems how you move about the screen. So we always generally just start at the upper left. You can see that little red bar shows the very top of the screen, and the very far right of the screen we just come in a few cells and get started, and then just make sure you're at the home button down at the bottom, and that brings you kind of basic calculator type functions. So you can see you can do 12 minus 5 equals 7, really basic problems. That's just basic math. Obviously things get a lot more complex in 7th grade math, so generally you'll be utilizing this folder you see with some algebraic functions. If you click that, it opens up a whole new array of operations that you can do within math. So you can now set up problems where you go back to home, 12, back into that folder, x plus 4, back into that folder to get the x again, equals 16x. It is a little bit clunky, or maybe not clunky, you just have to get used to that you go into that folder and then it bounces back automatically to the main home page once you use one of these operations. So for example, again, if you did 3x, oh, sorry, let me explain how the variables work. So if you go back and you do 3, this is the squared, so you can do 3 squared equals 9. And you can continue to scroll down and do another problem. Show some other operations that you can do. Let's just start with a 4, and you'd come over here. You can use other variables, as you can see. So 4x and parentheses, 4x times 2x plus 1, close parentheses. This is where you can start to get more complex in how you set up the problems. But once you get the hang of it, it's really easy to do. So a couple of other functional areas you have. You can see there's a bunch of different variables. There's pi. If you notice this folder on the far right, x over y, if you click that, you're going to see how you can set up fractional equations. So in this case, I'm now at the numerator where I can do a 2, and then I can hit right below that and get flipped down to the denominator, and I can do 8. And then I can go over here, and you see my main screen pop back up, and I could say equals, and I can go again into that folder on the left, then into the folder on the right, and say that is equal to 1, click down, 4th. So that's how fractional equations work. Scrolling down, let's show you maybe just a couple more. When you go into this folder, again, there's square root, there's pi, there's other variables that you can use as things get more advanced. If you go into this folder at the far left, which is more, you can see there's a whole plethora of things to look at here. So there are money symbols, if that comes up. Sorry, hold on. There are geometry, common geometry, area, length, height, width, radius, diameter, circumference, pi, square, meters, centimeters, feet, and so forth. Sorry, more. Volume, cubic meters, cubic centimeters, things that come up in volume equations. Weight, time, and distance. I'm going to go into those. You understand and get a sense of it. If the student does need to go into and actually type something out, you can do that right on. It's set up into 2 letter boards because it can't fit the whole alphabet onto one screen. But you can see this is A through P and then Q through Z. It clicks over to there. Then miscellaneous math is just some other just sort of common functions and things that come up, I think, as things get more advanced. But for the most part, everything is captured here. You just really have to get accustomed to dipping into these other folders to find the more advanced stuff or the more algebraic or, again, like the fractional equations that I showed earlier. So just to wrap up, really quick kind of let me show you that again. So I did the more folder. If you go to the right here, this is kind of the setup and how you administer your files and save them and transfer them. So really the key ones that we use all the time is this little disk, this old school disk icon. You click that, and that's where you see on the bottom, save the file, open a previous file, delete files, or create a new file. So we would just go here and save, and you would type in the name. This is a test file, and you would save it, and then you have that file to go back to and work on. So when we set up Grant's homework, we type in, we set up the whole problem sheet, and we just save it as that SLT number and that lesson number, and then we can go back to it and work on it. And then the other thing you can do with it is this icon on the far right, which is the sort of share file transfer icon. That's like a universal symbol. There you can email it, or you can print it right from the, we always print full page, and in this case we could print it right to our home printer through the wireless network, or you can email it, as we always do it as a PDF, and we always take full page, and you see that's the test file, it's Panther Math, and then you just send it to whoever needs to get it, and that's it. So hopefully that helps explain Panther Math. Thanks.